Hey, Avish, tell people who you are and what you do.
I'm Avish Parashar, and I am an improv comedian slash professional speaker. And my website is speakingexpert.com, where I and we, as in me and Fred, show people how they can make money as speakers, get more speaking gigs, speak better, and have more fun.
Tell people who are watching this video, a lot of them are possibly interested, a number of them are possibly interested in getting involved with me as a JV partner. So I wanted you to sort of give them some objective, honest feedback about working with me. So could you tell them what the experience has been like, honestly, working with me?
Well, the experience is really, really good. What Fred brings to the table is really two important things, and number one is just experience and advice and mentoring. Coming up with direction on where to go, what to do next, how to maximize the websites and the products for conversion and use. And two is just the accountability, having a partner who really is as invested in your success as you are in your own, so there's someone else. I've always said to people that we'll let ourselves down before we let somebody else down. And so when I feel like slacking or getting busy, and Fred will have something to be accountable for and say, okay, what's next and what are we up to and what's the status? And when you combine those two things, it's been a really, really powerful experience.
What's the toughest thing about working with me?
Well, the toughest thing about working with Fred is, like I said, sometimes he really is more invested in your success than you are. So sometimes he might be a little more enthusiastic or passionate and excited about you working. So he's got he can be blunter or more forceful about things you need to get done. So if you have a really thin skin or are kind of on some deep level resisting your own, like if you're trying to move yourself in a direction that deep down you're having trouble with, then I would not work with Fred. But if you want someone who will support you and push you and sometimes kick you in the ass a little bit, then yeah, he's great to work with.
Okay, so who would be the ideal person you think to be working with me? Sort of give me the type of person, not necessarily the field.
The type of person is someone who has a real depth of content experience. You know your subject well, regardless of the field. Number two, you have a passion and interest to package that and sell it online to make some passive residual income. And three, it's you're really going to take action. And at the end of the day, if there's one person who will not work well with Fred, is the person just talks about it but never actually does anything, comes up with excuses. So, you don't necessarily have to put your entire life on hold and do nothing else, but you got to take action every week, consistently, moving things forward. If you have those three things, it would be great. If you're not going to do those things, if you don't have content expertise, real passion for getting it online, and the ability to work consistently, then don't bother.
There are obviously a lot of people in a lot of different fields that are looking to do this. Can you tell them about some of the other benefits of being part of the sort of the JV partner team?
Yeah, well, the team is one of the coolest aspects. Is I have met just great people because of the screening process. You don't worry that you're going to end up interacting regularly with a bunch of, well, let's censor that. But so we've had a few get-togethers in person and online. Weekly we meet and talk. And so from a personal level, I've met a lot of great people. But more interestingly, or more relevant, I think, is the professional contacts, in that we share advice, we share experience. Sometimes if someone has an area of expertise where maybe I can help them and they can help me. So even beyond just working with Fred, that network of people, and it keeps growing. It's not like you have three people. Just this past week, I met someone who's got an expertise in marketing that I didn't have, and I've met someone with SEO stuff. So it's really just you keep meeting new people who both are great personally and professionally.
And that information that you gain from those people that you've met can be used both on our JV partner site as well as on your own sites, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously the stuff we learn, I'm really applying to speakingexpert.com, but I've got anywhere, depending how you look at it, anywhere from 1 to 4 other businesses. And yeah, that information is going to be really useful in not just the JV stuff, but everything, which is great.
Now, as sort of a final question, I want you to sort of tell people a little bit about how I work the finances of this arrangement and how I feel about the money side of it.
Well, yeah, Fred works the money side way differently. Obviously, he is doing this to make some money, but he's more laid back than anyone I've ever met in this arena. So basically, all the JV partners, myself included, we collect all the income from what we do with Fred, and then we regularly just cut him his share of the check, and it's pretty standard, 50% or so on profits on products, And then services is, since he understands it, like if I'm delivering a service that came from something I worked on with Fred, since I'm putting in most of the work, I collect most of the money, so usually about 80%. But the best thing about Fred is it's all really what you as a JV partner consider fair. So, if there's something where I put in a lot of work and I'm like, well, I think here's what Fred should get for this one. He's cool with it, but that's part of the reason why there's this kind of screening process, because he wants to work with people that he likes to work with and knows and trusts is going to be fair and equitable. But it's really nice. I mean, I don't have to worry ever about being cheated. Oh man, is this relationship going to be worth it? It's like, well, I decide if it's worth it. So
now, as a final sort of thought here to throw out to people that are watching this, any other final thoughts you'd want to give them about the whole JV system that I do and how I do it?
Yeah, it's a great way, and if you're like me, where you've got content expertise, and even I had technical expertise even, but what I really needed was information advice on packaging it, selling it, and a partner, someone a lot of people work better with others than on their own. So if you fall into that category, then definitely apply, talk to Fred, talk to some people, and go for it, because nothing's you could just sit there and think about it for years, but until you start doing it, that's when you start seeing results, and that's what Fred makes happen.
Super. Thank you, Avish.
Sure.